requires technological innovation and changes in business processes. Yung sinasabi kong all businesses dito, sakop nito even yung sa mga ibang bansa. And because of this, yung mga sinabi kong growing pressures, like yung global competition, trade wars, technological innovation, and charges in business process, um, mas lalong nagiging kailangan o mas nagiging mahalaga sa bawat business or companies yung cost management. Mostly, business managers must think or act competitively para syempre makasabay sila sa mga ibang businesses from different countries, hindi lang sa country na kinakasakupan nila. And except nga dun sa sinabi kong managers must act or think competitively, of course, they are required to think about the strategy. First slide. The first term that we will meet in this topic is the strategy. Strategy is a set of policies, procedures, and approaches to businesses that produce long-term success, while strategic management involves the development of a sustainable competitive position. So strategy, we're all familiar naman with the word strategy, di ba? Because I think in all activity that we are doing, maliit man o malaki or even anumang activity yung ginagawa natin, we're still thinking pa rin about the strategy na pwede natin gawin or pwede natin i-apply doon sa activity na ginagawa natin. Siyempre, to make sure na magiging successful yung activity na ginagawa natin. And also, ganun din sa businesses. We need to think some strategies na pwede natin gawin and i-apply na makaka-help sa business natin para mag-grow and para maging successful. And when it comes naman sa strategic management, yung strategic management, of course, when we have strategy, we should know how to maintain it or to handle it until we get the position na gusto natin. And of course, to sustain the position na nakukuha natin. Kasi hindi yun dun matatapos yung tinatawag ng competitive position when it comes to businesses. Next. Next is strategic cost management. Strategic cost management involves the development of cost management information. Dito sa strategic cost management, as it said, napasok dito yung development ng cost management information. Later on, I will discuss if ano nga ba yung cost management information. Dito muna tayo sa strategic cost management. Yun nga, sabi dito, it developed the cost management information para na rin mapadali para sa mga businesses yung or yung para sa kanila yung strategic management. Next, yun nga, ito na, yung cost management information. Cost management information is the information that the manager needs to effectively manage the firm, profit-oriented as well as a non-for-profit organization. In short, yung cost management information, included dito yung financial information and non-financial information. Yung financial information, we all know that this about the cost and revenues, di ba? While yung non-financial information naman is about the productivity, quality, and of course, yung other key success factors ng mga businesses. Next. Next is yung cost management. Cost management, the practice of accounting in which the accountant develops and uses the cost management information. For competitive success, it is not enough to emphasize only on financial information. And sa cost management, if a firm or yung business nag-compete sila successfully, it is not enough to emphasize only on financial information, but also we should give importance to non-financial information and long-term measures of operation performance like yung customer loyalty, yung product quality, and also yung product itself ng business. Next. Next is yung tatlong users of cost management information. We have a business firms, second one is the governmental units, and last is yung non-for-profit organization. Next. Sa business firms are usually categorized by industry, the main categories being merchandise, manufacturing, and service. Sa business firms, for additional information lang, lagi natin tatandaan na yung merchandising firm, sila yung mga bumibili ng goods for resale. And I know naman na familiar na tayo dito kasi last year na-discuss na natin yun. But yun nga, next naman is yung merchandisers that sells to another merchandisers is tinatawag silang wholesalers. And lastly, those who selling directly to consumers are the retailers. Yang mga binanggit ko is pasok siya sa business firms. And next naman is governmental and non-for-profit organizations provide services much like the firms in service industries.
Meron ka bang
Sa
envelope
government,
dyan? Kahit use, kaya ano. Ay, you continue. Continue.
sa governmental and sorry, sa governmental and non-for-profit, in this organization, yun nga, nabanggit ko na nagpo-provide sila or nag-offer sila ng services. We all know that they are offering services nga. But I want you all to know rin na those services na ino-offer ng organization na to are are no direct relationship between the amount paid and doon sa services na ino-offer sa kanila. But instead, in this organization, the customer to receive them are determined by the government or yung tinatawag nating philanthropic organization. Next. Next is yung uses of cost management information. The first uses of cost management information is yung strategic management, which is, I already discussed it earlier, na this helps the business to maintain or to sustain their competitive position. And for the additional information about the strategic management, it involves the identifying and implementing these goals and action plans, which is yung mag-provide ng desired competitive advantage, which is also sa strategic management, napasok din dyan yung strategic decision ng isang business when it comes to their chosen products, match, and also sa manufacturing method, marketing techniques, and channels, and other long-term issues. Next. Next, uses of cost management information is yung planning and decision making. Planning and decision making involves budgeting and profit planning, cash flow management, and other decisions related to the firm's operations. Dito, sa uses of cost management information na to, actually may tanong ako dito. Bakit importante yung cost management information sa decision making? May gustong sumagot? Or if wala naman, explain ko na lang. Wala. Sige. Kaya mahalaga yung cost management information sa decision making ng business is kasi yung cost management information mismo yung nagsosupport sa decision ng isang business, such as managing their cash flows, replacing and maintaining equipment, pati na rin yung pagbabudget para sa raw materials nila, and managing and pricing distribution product, and so forth. Next. Next is the management and operational control. We have operational control and management control. Sa operational control takes place when mid-level managers monitor the activity of operating level managers. Sa management control naman is the evaluation of a mid-level manager by an upper level manager. For the additional information, katulad ng planning and decision making, may importance din yung cost management information dito, which which is yung cost management information is nakakatulong siya sa business if there's some inefficient operation. Nagiging basihan yung cost management information ng isang business company and cost management information nila pag nagkakaaberya sa operation na ginagawa ng isang business. Next. Next is reportorial and compliance to legal requirements. Reportorial and compliance responsibilities require management to comply with the financial reporting requirements to regulatory agencies such as Securities and Exchange Commission or yung SEC and the Bureau of Internal Revenue or BIR and other relevant government authorities and agencies. We are all familiar naman kung ano yung tinutukoy dyan na financial reporting, which is yung financial statement. For the additional lang, financial statement is also important part of other three management function na diniscuss ko kanina, which is yung strategic management, control o yung management and and operational control, and lastly yung planning and decision making. Next. Next is yung management accountant's role in strategic cost management. First is yung cost management. Cost management is the practice of accounting in which the accountant develops and uses cost management information. It is simply the practice of accounting in which those accountants can develop the cost management information. Next. Next naman is yung management accountants. Sa management accountants, um, included dyan yung tinatawag nating cost accountants. Management accountants are the accounting professionals who develop and analyze cost management information and other accounting information. Yun nga, tulad ng sabi ko kanina, sa management accountants, included dyan yung tinatawag nating cost accountants. These accountants are not just analyzing accounting information, but they are providing a variety of reports that focusing on how well managers and businesses have performed. Next. Next is yung management accounting. Management accounting is the process of identification, measurement, accumulation, analysis, preparation, interpretation, and communication of financial information. Sa management accounting, it also involves the application of appropriate techniques ng mga business and also concept para assist management in creating their plans for them to achieve their objectives or the goals of the business. Next. Next is yung management accountant's role in strategic cost management. We have three management accountants to do the following tasks. First, yung scorekeeping or yung data accumulation. Next is yung interpreting and reporting of information. And last is yung problem solving. So scorekeeping, we have here internal and external parties, and they are both enabled to evaluate organizational position. Sa interpreting and reporting of information naman, it helps the managers to focus on operating their business problems, opportunities, as well as the efficiencies pagdating sa operation ng businesses nila. Lastly, yung problem solving are also known as the quantification of the relative merits of possible courses of action. This is actually commonly associated with non-recurring decision. Um, Nag-search ako about sa non-recurring decision. Ang sabi doon, these are the decisions that unlikely to happen again, which is parang hindi na kaya pagdating sa problem solving. Next. Next is yung three important guidelines to help management accountants provide the most value scorekeeping, problem solving, and attention directing And these are the employ a cost benefit approach. Second is recognize behavioral as well as technical considerations. And lastly, use appropriate cost concept for different purposes. Ayan yung lagi nating tatandaan na three important guidelines para sa mga accountants pagdating sa scorekeeping, problem solving, and yung interpreting or yung reporting of information. Next. Next is management accountant provides a system which allows management to receive the necessary information used in performing its administrative functions. First is yung planning, second control, third is decision making. Planning, the plan communicates a company's goal to employees and specifies the resources needed to achieve them. Planning, we all know that planning is one of the key activity of all businesses. Nga pala yung sa most of the plans ng businesses are often expressed formally in budget. So, ayun, planning is tatandaan na planning is just setting goal of every business or every firm. We have two kinds of planning. First is yung resource planning and second is yung profit planning. Under the resource planning, we have the cash budgets, capital budgets, and projected statements. Under naman ng profit planning is yung break-even and projected income. Lagi lang natin tatandaan sa planning, most of the plans nga ng top management are often expressed formally in budget. Next. Next is control. Control of organizations is achieved by evaluating the performance of managers and the operation for which they are responsible. The distinction between evaluating managers and evaluating the operations they control is important. So control, company plans have a important role in control process. So with the help of control, yung business managers can compare what is the difference between the actual result and doon sa plans na ginawa nila para sa business. So, next, we will have Miss Sebastian to show us the figure that shows the planning and control process. Thank you.
So we have here figure one, which shows a flow chart starting from the planning process up to the evaluation. So the evaluation shows whether the objective was achieved or not. So if the objective was achieved, decisions could be made to reward the managers. This could be in the form of compensation or such as bonus compensation. And if not, if hindi naman na-achieve, decisions could be made to punish managers. This could be made, for example, hindi sila mabibigyan ng any bonus compensation or worse, the managers could be fired. Next naman, decisions to change operations or revise. If the objectives was achieved, decisions to change operations such as expanding or making a new shift could be done, or if not naman, if hindi naman na-achieve ang desired plan upon evaluating, revise could be done in order to make new realistic plans. So next we have decision making. Decision making is an integral part of the planning and control process. So we all know that decision making is very important for the management. It serves as like the backbone of the business because if walang decision making, the company becomes stagnant lang. So from the example earlier, if hindi na-achieve yung desired goal ng isang kumpanya, hindi naman pwede na magiging stagnant lang sila, wala silang gagawin. So, decision making is important in order for the management to improve. Also, how well they make these decisions will determine future profitability and possibly the survival of the company. relationship between cost accounting and cost management. So, cost accounting is a systematic set of procedures for recording and reporting measurements of the cost of manufacturing goods. So, we all know that cost accounting is a system that allows businesses to measure their costs and, as much as possible, minimize unnecessary costs. So it includes methods for recognizing, classifying, allocating, aggregating, and reporting such costs and comparing them with standard costs. Cost management needs the output of cost accounting. So ang sinasabi lang rito, basically, ang cost management and cost accounting ay merong two-way relationship. So in order for the management to get valuable information from the cost accounting, the management has to at the managers has to study and at least have a background knowledge regarding the terms na presented doon sa mga reports na ginagawa ng mga cost accountants. So in order for the cost accounting cost which are prepared by cost accountants, yung mga report, in order for those reports to be useful, the management has to make an effort and know what are the terms that are listed in those reports para maging useful siya in making decisions. So managers use cost management information to choose strategy, to communicate it, and to determine how best to implement it. They use this information to coordinate their decisions about designing, producing, and marketing a product or service. We have here strategic decision making and the cost management accountant. Under that, we have basic cost management perspective. So, itong mga basic cost management perspectives, ito yung mga non-financial information that really affects um, whether a business is going to be successful or not. So, katulad ng sinabi kanina, it is not sufficient na only financial information lang ang pinagtutuunan ng pansin ng management. It is also important that the management look at other factors, other non-financial factors that will help the management in making better decisions for the company. So we have first, excuse me, strategic management perspective. So, a strategy is a game plan that enables the company to attract customers by distinguishing itself from its competitors. So, from the word itself, strategic management perspective shows how a business attracts its customers by having its own strategy. So, a strategy is what differentiates the company from other companies that also offer the same products. So, a chosen strategy is good as how effectively it is implemented. The management accountant provides input that aids developing strategy, building resources, and capabilities. So, it is important na merong strategy ang mga kumpanya dahil kagaya nga ng sinabi ko kanina, ang market is sobrang malawak and napakaraming competition dito. So, strategies ay important para sa kumpanya para ito ay mag-succeed. So, we have here three customer value premises. We have customer intimacy strategy, operational excellence, and product leadership. Customer intimacy strategy. Ito yung type ng strategy na sinasabi ng company sa mga customers na customers should choose them because they can customize products and services to meet individual needs better than our competitors. So, ang example nito is the company IKEA. So, ang IKEA is marami silang variety ng products na suitable for each preference ng kanilang mga customers. So, ang kanilang focal point in advertising is that they can relate better to the customers by means of providing what they want. Ganon. So, meron ding mga options ang IKEA and yung mga companies na nag-a-adopt ng strategy na to na they can personalize products for their customers. Next, we have operational excellence. So, ang mga company na nag-a-adapt ng operational excellence, ang sinasabi naman nila in order to attract their customers is that the customers should choose them because they deliver products and service faster, more conveniently, and at a lower price than their competitors. So, ang main point nila is that ang operations nila is top-notch. So, ang pwede nating maging example dito is I don't know if you're familiar with it, but the company Shein. So, ang focal point or ang main point ng advertising ng Shein is that they offer products at a lower price compared to their other competitors. Next, we have product leadership. So, ito namang strategy na ito is nag-i-imply na ang company is to be chosen because sila ay nag-offer ng higher quality products. So, meron tayong example dito. So, we know these two companies. The other one is Chanel and the other one is Bath and Body Works. So, ang company dito na a-adopt ng product leadership strategy is itong company ng Chanel. So, ang company ng Chanel ay nag-a-adopt ng product leadership because ang pinang-a-attract talaga nila, ang strategy nila in order to get their customers is how well they have a higher quality product. So, 'di ba? Usually, ang mga companies na nag-a-adopt ng product leadership strategy ay yung mga high-end products. Next, perspective, an enterprise risk management perspective. Enterprise risk management is a process used by an entity to identify those risks and develop responses to them that enable it to be assured of meeting its goals. So in short, ang enterprise risk management is a perspective that allows management to look at risks and eliminate them as much as possible. So ang sinasabi lang rito, ang management ay dapat handa and prepared sa kung ano mang risk na pwedeng ma, ah, makasalamuha nila. So meron tayong example dito. For example, ang company ay nagde-develop or nagde-design in order to control possible risks to emerge. The company has to ensure that all available tools and methodologies are used. When implementing action plans, the company has to review effectiveness of plans and check capabilities. So, ang enterprise risk management is more of um, trying to tell the management na they should eliminate risk for the company to have a successful flow. So, ang example rin ng business risk is a website malfunctioning. So, paano yun makokontrol ng company? The company or the management has to thoroughly test the website before going live on the internet. So, although yung mga risk na to is hindi may eliminate completely 100%, it is still important that the management is prepared. Next perspective, we have a corporate social responsibility perspective. So this perspective, excuse me. So this perspective only shows na the management has to um, consider all the needs of the stakeholders, um, hindi lang ang isipin nila para pasayahin ay yung mga customers and yung mga investors, but they also should consider all of the stakeholders, for example, the environment. So meron tayong example rito, companies like Starbucks and McDonald's took the initiative to help the environment since recently naging very sikat nga yung issue about the overusage of plastics sa mga businesses. So companies like Starbucks and McDonald's took the initiative to replace their usual use of plastics into plastic straws, into plastic bags. So ito yung mga stakeholders na kailangang i-consider ng isang management. Hindi lang dapat yung customers or yung kanilang investors. Provide its customers with safe, high-quality products. Suppliers with hassle-free acceptance of timely and complete deliveries, fair contract terms, and prompt payments. Provide stockholders with competent management. Provide its employees with fair compensation, safe and humane working conditions. Communities with fair payment of fair taxes. And yung tulad nga sinabi ko kanina, environment with recycling. So next perspective, we have a process management perspective. A business process is a series of steps that are followed in order to carry out some tasks in a business. So ang process management perspective is talking about how the management should be well aware and well versed with its business processes. So, for example, meron tayo ditong graph. For example, ito yung mga business processes ng isang company. So the company has to be well versed with all of these and the value chain, which is the relationship between all of this. So for example, merong functional department, marketing, research and development, product design, manufacturing. So the management has to be well versed in kung kanino ba sila mag-a-assign, kung sino bang kakausapin in topics like this. For example, ang product design is merong product design management is merong gustong tanungin if kaya bang magawa yung product design na nagawa nila. So, kanino ba makikipag-coordinate ang management? Hindi naman dito sa distribution agad. So, the management has to be well-versed with how the business works in general. So, ang product design management ay makikipag-coordinate sa manufacturing management. That is what we call the value chain or how an organization's functional departments interact with one another. And all of these are the business processes. Managers also need to focus on process excellence instead of functional performance. So for example, merong functional department which is ang purchasing department. Ang kanyang function is to minimize costs as much as possible. So, if dun lang magpo-focus ang purchasing department sa pag-minimize ng cost, lahat ginawa niya to minimize the cost and did not think of how it would compromise the quality of the products, then it would not be helpful for the company itself. So managers need to consider the process excellence too. Hindi lang pwedeng puro minimize ng cost. Dapat ma-achieve pa rin yung level ng quality na kailangan ng isang company. Lean production is a management approach that organizes resources. So ito is a method used by some management in order to minimize costs and not use and not add some unnecessary costs. So ang example nito is yung just in time. 'Di ba ang just in time is nag-order lang sila ng products when needed, when customers need it na. So, that is an example of lean production because that method minimizes storage costs and unnecessary costs. For example, kakastore ng mga products tas hindi naman agad na sell, pwede silang masira. So, ayun. Next, leadership perspective. So, leadership perspective, leaders need to understand how internal motivation, external incentives, and cognitive bias influence human behavior. First, internal motivation. A leader who is perceived by employees as credible and respectful of their value to the company can increase the extent to which those employees are intrinsically motivated to pursue strategic goals. So this just means na leaders or the managers itself has to be credible for the job para maging silang perfect example for other employees, and other employees would also get motivated from them being an excellent um, an excellent example. So, to be perceived as a credible and respectful leader, he or she must possess the following attributes: technical competence, personal integrity, strong communication skills, strong mentoring skills, strong listening skills, and personal humanity. Next, we have external incentives. So, of course, external incentives are important to keep the employees motivated. So, if they did a good job, of course, as a company, as the manager, you should give proper compensation for them, such as bonus compensation. Next, cognitive bias. So, ito naman, cognitive bias is talking about um, how you have inside biases inside yourself. For example, you're a manager and then you are merong topic. So dito and ikaw personally, ang opinion mo sa isang topic na yon is nandito ka sa pro side. So dapat since alam mo na nasa pro side ka, as much as possible um, kapag nalatag yon sa meeting nyo or sa planning, controlling, and decision making, wag mong masyadong ipahalata na na-bias ka dito sa pro side na to. So you should be aware na you have inside biases and that should not affect the way how you handle things, how you handle decision making, controlling, and planning. So although hindi siya totally ma-eliminate sa sa'yo as a human, dapat yung personal opinion mo is separate from the workplace. So lastly, we have an ethics perspective. An ethics perspective. So ito, alam naman natin na sa workplace dapat laging present ang ethical behavior. Actually, yung mga companies madalas na hindi pa-practice ng ethics, sila din yung bound to lose at some point. So, ethical perspectives are very important in the workplace. Professional management accountants have developed and implemented a set of ethical standards for practitioners. So today we discuss about strategy. We related strategic cost management to strategic management. We explained the objective, scope, and benefits of proper cost management. We also explained how cost management information is used, and we also enumerated and explained the basic cost management perspective. So that's all for us. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Sebastian and Saranilla. Am I correct? Na? Yung dalawa nating nag-report regarding an introduction into the strategic cost management. To sum it up, while the cost accounting deals with the procedural approach in preparing cost report, the strategic cost management is an application of the managerial concept. This provides an interpretation, kaya medyo level up na tayo when it comes to strategic cost management. Here, you are expected to be at least knowledgeable in the cost functions and how these costs are accumulated and presented. On the other hand, pagdating na sa cost management, strategic cost management, it is utilizing the data, no? Utilizing the information provided by the cost system in serving the management. There are some things presented, no, although in as much as I would like to expand us more on these items, dalawa ang reporting group natin today, no. Ipauna ko lang, the reporter will be reporter, paano niyo ha, paki-upload sa Google Classroom natin ang report, yung PowerPoint presentation. Una. Pangalawa, i-compile yan. Yan yung magiging output ng inyong klase. So lahat ng PowerPoint report will be compiled and isosoft-bind natin siya. And to be submitted to my office after the end of the semester. So you assign somebody who will collate all the output, no, the PowerPoint, and who will print and who will take care of soft binding them and submit the hard copy of that soft-bound output nyo dito sa aking opisina. That will be an output to be presented to the accreditor once na nag-audit sa atin yung accreditor to evaluate our program. Second thing, every after report, one of your tasks is to submit a written report. In this case, I'll be asking you to answer yung questions number 1 to 18 and upload the handwritten answer. The answer for every siguro maximum na 2 paragraph lang. No more than that. It should be a handwritten report. Tapos picturean nyo lang, convert it to PDF, then upload sa ating Google Classroom. Am I clear with that? Nagkakaintindihan tayo. Miss Gaspar, so paki-coordinate na lang sa yung mga kaklase yung magiging output. Mr. Rosero, sige po, anong question?
Hello, sir. Clarification. Yes po, sir. Hello. Clarification lang po. Yung file po na handwritten na isa-send via PDF file, lahat po kami, sir, or yung reporter lang po?
Kasama ang reporter. Ang contribution ng reporter is to upload sa ating Google sa stream ng Google Classroom natin yung report. But yung pag-answer ng mga question will be answered by everyone. It's our way of testing yung ating knowledge. So, hindi ko kailangan ng malalim na analysis dito. For compliance purposes lang tayo. Tapos itong mga i-upload nyo, i-compile nyo rin to. So individually, meron kayong sariling compilation ng inyong mga activities. It will also be submitted sa akin. Okay? So it's na... yes, Ms. Gaspar.
Sir, yung individual po, ipiprint din po namin, tapos ipapasa po sa inyo?
Kung maaari, yellow pad, o kung wala naman kahit yung bond paper doon yung isulat. That is separate doon sa i-upload nyo na requirements. Yeah, I mean, di ba pipicturean nyo yan? Yung nakasulat nyo na i-upload. O yan yung i-compile nyo yan. Okay? So nagkakaintindihan tayo? Sige. Any other question? Yung PowerPoint, yun lang ang i-compile as output ng inyong klase. So, yes, Ms. Gaspar.
Sir, yung pagpiprint po ba ng PowerPoint, isang slide po, isang bond paper, or pwedeng i-compile po namin?
No, hindi. Ano siya? Magkasundo tayo doon. Pwede siguro yung 6, di ba may 6 slide in 4 ba ang maliwanag na? 4 slide in 1 bond paper. Mas okay na yan, no?
Apo.
Tapos naka-ano siya? Naka-landscape. Kasi pagka yung 4 na yung pagka ano lang siya, short bond paper ba o long? Short na lang siguro. Kasya siya sa short, no? Tapos visible naman siya kung siya ay isa lang yun yung i-compile nyo na yun. Isang soft bind, unless na gusto nyo magkaroon ng copy ng sa inyo. Pero yung as a requirement, isa lang yung isasubmit nyo sa akin. Pero yung inyong compilation ng lahat ng inyong activities, kanya-kanya tayo. Okay?
Okay po, sir. Bali po, 4 slides po, every bond paper short, naka-landscape po.
Kaya kung ang report nyo ay mga 12 lang, di 3 pages lang yon. Kung 12 slides lang siya. Okay? Pagka-anim ba masyado na maliit? Pag-usapan nyo, ha? Basta ang kailangan ko yung output na visible lang siya. You discuss among yourselves and you agree among yourselves kung anong gagawin. It's either the 4 slides in a page or 6 slides in a page. Basta ang kailangan ko merong visible, clear compilation and clearly printed na output kayo na isasubmit at the end of the semester. Okay? Na PowerPoint, bukod pa doon sa handwritten. Hindi ko kailangan ng mahabang discussion, ha? Don't give me a long discussion. Yung doon sa chapter 1 nyo, gagawa ko ng task to, halimbawa 18 siya. Halimbawa, what is meant by a business strategy? Ayaw ko ng guys, ayaw ko ng copy-paste. You restate that on your own understanding. Huwag niyong kokopyahin tas isusulat. Malalaman ko naman yan. So example din ay define the term strategic cost management. I-modify nyo on your understanding. Klaro tayo? Ms. Gaspar, ikaw na lang
Yes
sumagot. Klaro
po.
tayo? Sige ha.
Opo.
So nagkakain. Kung may mga may question kayo, ibatukon nyo kay Ms. Gaspar. Ms. Gaspar will be coordinating to me directly regarding your concern regarding this. But ang kailangan natin, may output ang klase nyo at may output individual tayo bukod pa doon sa PowerPoint presentation na i-upload nyo sa Google Classroom natin. Okay? So can we have the second reporter?
Hello po. Yes po, sir.
Sige.
Rinig po ba? Or
Yes.
medyo maingay po ba yung background ko? Sorry for
Hindi
that.
naman. No worries
Okay.
about that.
But anyways, okay, let's proceed to chapter 2, the professional environment of cost management. Okay, so for this chapter, we will tackling about the first is to describe the position of the management accountant in the organization structure of the business firm. Second is to explain the role and the relationship between the chief financial and the controller. And third is to describe the functions and responsibilities of the controller as the top management accountant. Fourth is explain the role and the relationship between the chief financial officer and the treasurer. Fifth is describe the function and responsibilities of the treasurer. Sixth is understand the ethical standards for management accountants. Seventh is to realize the need for a company code of conduct. Eight is be familiar with typical ethical challenges that management accountants encounter. And lastly would be to describe the international certification that are available to management accountants. So for this topic, I'm with Sherla Sumagpang. So she would be the first one to report the first topic. So Sherla, okay,
Good
so the
afternoon.
floor is yours.
Good afternoon. Rinig po ba? Good afternoon,
Yes,
sir.
rinig.
First is the organizational structure and the management accountant. An organization is a group of individuals who join together to achieve a specific goal or objective. And to fully understand the different types of authority in an organization, we have the line authority, staff authority, and functional authority. The line authority is the authority to command action or give orders to subordinates. And the responsibility of a line managers is to attain the objectives of the business. For example, ang objective is to make sale. The sales supervisor is considered to have line authority. Next is the staff authority. It's the authority to advise but not command others. It is exercised laterally or upward. As a staff manager, their role is to support, give advice, and give services to line departments. And yung sa line managers, it exercise downward. And for the next one is functional authority, is the right to command action laterally or downward with regard to a specific function or specialty. Dito naman is meron silang special power kahit hindi nila duty or part yung department na yon. Which is binibigyan sila ng special power ng president to give command or to advise to a specific department. Next slide po. And for the illustration, for the reporting relationship for the CFO and the corporate controller. We have board of directors. Ito yung mga taong binoto ng mga shareholders. Which is they will choose for the position of the CEO or the chairman, which is the highest ranking position in the management. Under the CEO is the COO, or the Chief Operating Officer that involved in directing the day-to-day operation of the organization. Next is the Chief Financial Officer that in charge in financial operation of the organization. And and under the CFO is the controller and the treasurer. Next slide po. And the chief financial officer and the controller. The chief financial officer, or the CFO, is the executive responsible for overseeing the financial operation of organization. These relate to assets and liabilities like loans, issue, or disposal of securities. The responsibility of the CFO include the following areas. Next slide po. Is the controllership, treasury, risk management, taxation, and internal audit. The function of controllership is actually to provide financial information and overseeing the accounting operations. It's all about accounting, reporting transaction that provides financial information reports. Next is the treasury. From the term itself, which includes the management of cash, like banking or investing of funds, either short-term or long-term financing. Next is risk management. When you decided to invest your funds, you have to manage the financial risk like interest rate and exchange rate. For the fourth one is the taxation. As a chief financial officer, you need to know how to minimize your taxes, like tax planning, compliance to tax rules and regulations. And lastly, the internal audit, which evaluating the corporate governance and evaluating of the accounting process. The internal audit also include reviewing and analyzing financial and other record attesting the integrity of the financial reports. Since alam naman natin na ang internal audit is different from external audit because the internal audit is being done by someone within the organization, while the external audit is independent from the business. And note pala na hindi hindi lahat ng hindi lahat yan ng responsibility is gagawin nila. Kumbaga mag-a-assign din sila ng tao as controller, treasurer, etc. Ang gagawin lang nila is imo-monitor nila yung mga inassign nila. Next slide po. The controller or the CAO, also called the Chief Accounting Officer, is the financial executive primarily responsible for management accounting and financial accounting. This provides reports for planning and evaluating companies like yung budgets nila, performance reports, and na kailangan sa management activities. Responsibility din ng controller na mag-tax filing in the BIR and other taxing agencies. Next slide po. The controller as the top management accountant. Next step. The basic function of controllership is planning, control, reporting, accounting, and other primary responsibilities. As a controller, your basic function is to do planning. Like, gumagawa ka na agad ng plano for the next year para dun sa company's operation. And of course, consistent dapat with the company goals and objectives. Next is control. Since ikaw yung gumawa ng plano, alam mo yung mga procedure ay mga dapat gawin. So, kailangan mong mag-set ng control to assist your other members of management to ensure na nasusunod yung nabigay mong plano. Next is in reporting. Kailangan mo naman mag-prepare, analyze, and interpret financial results para masatisfy ang mga government, regulatory bodies, shareholder, customer, and general public. Next is the accounting, which design, establish, and maintain general and cost accounting system at all company levels. And ensure that all financial transactions are recorded in the books of account. And for the other primary responsibility is maintaining relationship with internal and external auditors, develop and maintain system and procedure or other responsibilities. Next po. The Chief Financial Officer and the Treasurer. Next po. The Treasurer has the custody of cash and funds invested in various marketable securities. As a treasurer, it's aim to manage the wealth of the business, making sure na ma-maximize yung wealth ng business. In addition to money management duties, the treasurer is generally responsible for maintaining relationship with investors, banks, and other creditors. Next po. In most firms, the treasurer has the following responsibilities. Number one is funds procurement. Second is banking and custody of funds. Third is investment of funds. Fourth is operating responsibilities. In funds procurement, this involves raising of funds in accordance with the firm's planned capital structure. This responsibility are negotiating for loans either short-term or long-term, or, or issuing of equity of debts instruments. And for banking and custody of bonds, ito yung pag-direct management of cash and cash equivalents. Responsibility yung pagpasok and paglabas ng pera sa bangko. Next is investment of funds. It is a responsibility in a company's placement in securities or purchase of debt or equity instrument, which is dapat as a treasurer, dapat ina-assure mo na nasa safe or tama yung pinag-investan mo nung assets ng company. And lastly is the operating responsibility related to credit and collection, inventory management, corporate pension and retirement fund, investor relations, insurance, compliance with legal and regulatory provision relating to funds procurement, use and distribution, as well as coordination of the financial function with the accounting function. And for summarization, yung controllership is more on reporting what is happening in the funds, while the treasurership is more on managing of funds. That's all for my report. Thank you.
Ayun. Thank you, Sherla. Next one is for my report na. Ito, this would be very quick lang kasi madali lang naman siya. So, ethical standards for management accountants. So, yung una kasing tanong dito is, why does the Institute of Management Accountants created this? So, bakit nga ba ginawa ng Institute of Management Accountants yung ethical standard na yon? So, based sa book natin, based on our book, in the recent years, many concerns have been raised regarding unethical behavior in business and in public life. So, meaning, nung wala pang ethical standards sa business world, maraming, alam niyo yan, maraming nagrereklamo na businessman with regards sa ginagawa ng ibang businessman din. So, yung concern na yon, it became an allegations and scandal of unethical conduct. Yung sinasabi naman na unethical conduct, yun yung di pagsunod sa GAAP or generally accepted accounting principle. Ayun. So, basically, yung allegations na yon and scandals, isinisisi siya sa mga managers. So, ayan. Fortunately, the Institute of Management Accountants, or the IMA, of the United States has developed a very useful ethical code called the Standards of Ethical Conduct for Practitioners of Management Accounting and Financial Management. So basically, kaya siya ginawa is to actually protect the reputation ng mga managers para hindi sila yung nasisisi kapag may nangyaring masama sa business. Kasi syempre, 'di ba? 'Yun nga, yung mga managers kasi yung kina-question na, "Oh, bakit ganito yung ginawa mo?" Syempre, kung meron ng ethical standard na sinusunod, meron ng masasabi yung manager na, "Syempre, sinusunod ko yung ethical standard." So, yeah, it's actually to protect the managers. So, ayan. Second slide, please. So, code of conduct for management accountants. So, ayan. The Institute of Management Accountants, or the IMA, issued the Standard of Ethical Conduct for Practitioner of Management Accounting and Financial Management. Actually, Code of Conduct for Management Accountants, meron siyang two parts, pero i-discuss natin siya sa next slide. So, ayun nga, Code of Conduct for Management Accountant, this standard actually developed for management accountants. But, meron pa, um, so, meaning, ginawa siya for management accountants, pero hindi lang para sa kanila. Ganon. So, number one is to maintain a high level of professional competence. Number two is to treat sensitive matters with confidentiality. Number three is to maintain personal integrity. Yan, that's what I'm talking about earlier. Na para ma-maintain ng managers yung personal integrity nila. Kasi nga, sila yung sinisisi kapag may nangyaring masama sa business. And number four is to be objective in all disclosing. So we will further discuss that in next slides. So next slide please. Third slide po. Thank you. Ayan. Standards of ethical conduct for practitioners of management, accounting, and financial management. So, di ba sabi ko kanila, there are two parts to the standards. First one provides general guidelines for ethical behavior. And basically, the management accountant has ethical responsibilities in four broad areas. So, ayun yung binanggit ko kanina. Next, ito yung next. Ito yung second part na sinasabi. So, the second part of the standard gives specific guidance concerning what should be done if an individual finds evidence of ethical misconduct within an organization. So, meaning, hindi lang dahil sa mababaw na rason kung bakit ginawa ang standards. It is because it's essential for the smooth functioning of an advanced market economy. So, yes. First one is competence. So, competence, ito binubuo to ng knowledge and skills ng isang manager and yung kung nape-perform niya ba yung professional duties niya. Next is confidentiality. From the word itself, confidential. So, yung managers na re-retain yung confidentiality ng mga informations. Next is integrity. So, refraining from any actions that would make them abide to the standards, like accepting bribes, ganyan. Next is objectivity. So, from the word itself, objective. So, to avoid bias. So, to discuss the information fairly and yan, hindi nga bias. Next is resolution of ethical conflict. So, for this one, we actually cannot avoid conflicts with regards to the standards, right? So, if that happens, the resolution of ethical conduct itself would actually be the solution to that conflicts. All right. So, fifth slide, please. Okay. Mhm. So it is unfortunate though that some companies place so much emphasis on short-term profits that may make it seem like the only way to get ahead is to act unethically. So, para saan ba tong company code of conduct? Kasi sa business world, guys, hindi maiiwasan yung pandaraya para lang maging ahead yung isang business, ganun. Parang alam niyo yun, mas nakafocus sila sa mabilisang paglago in which most of the business ginagawa yon pero mabilis ding nawawala sa kanila. So, yung company code of conduct, ayan. Those who engage in unethical behavior often justify their actions with one or more of the following reasons. First is the organization expects unethical behavior. Second is everyone else is unethical. Third is behaving unethically is the only way to get ahead. Yun nga, yung sinasabi ko na may mga business man na ginagawa nila yung mga bagay pa mabilisang bagay pero hindi fair na gawain para lang maging ahead sila sa ibang business. So, basically, ang sinasabi lang naman dyan ay they created company code of conduct para magkaroon ng standard kung paano papatakbuhin ang isang business or company for a long period of time. Next slide, please. So, ayan, codes of conduct on the international level. So, the International Federation of Accountants or the IFAC, in which the Philippines through the Philippine Institute of Certified Public Accountants is a member, issued the guidelines on ethics for professional accountants in which the highest of them all. So, next slide. Mhm. Okay, ayun lang yon kung paano siya natayo. Next slide, please. Next slide po. Ayan, dito na tayo. Let's move on sa international certifications. So, meron tayong 3 certifications available to management accountants. So, first one is Certificate of Management Accounting or CMA. Next one is Certificate in Public Accounting, so CPA. Next is Certificate in Internal Auditing, CIA. And the next slide, please. Okay, it's Institute of Management Accountants. So the Institute of Management Accountants is one of the top associations for financial professionals. It offers the prestigious Certified Management Accountant designation. The IMA's mission is to promote education and development in management, accounting, and finance, advocate for the highest ethics and best business practices, and provide a forum for research. The last slide, please. Okay, Philippine Association of Management Accountants. So, founded as the National Association of Accountants, Philippine International Chapter, it is affiliated with NAA now known as the Institute of Management Accountants in New Jersey, USA. So the association's name was changed to Philippine Association of Management Accountants on August 22, 1978. So that would be all. Do you have any questions, comments, or opinions na hindi naintindihan sa diniscuss namin ni Sherla? You can actually ask us. Then we can discuss it further. So, do you have any questions?
Thank you so much, Ms. Tabuno and
Okay po.
Ms.
Sherla.
Sumagpang. Tama ba?
Opo. Thank you po, sir.
Thank you. That is the report on the Chapter 2 regarding the professional environment of cost management. In particular, lalo na yung mga malalaking mga organization, no? They have a different department, no? And one department, huge department, is dedicated in the cost management or the cost department, what they call as the cost department. Now, Ms. Tabuno and Ms. Sumagpang just discuss about one of the topic discussed is the ethical standard. May binanggit siya tungkol doon sa isang issue regarding doon sa violation in ethical standards. The reason why this ethical standard was presented or was pushed to guide the practicing cost accountant, not just the cost accountant, pero pati yung ibang mga pati audit, no, to be guided to comply with the requirements para maging very objective. Kasi minsan very prevalent yung mga concern or issue regarding nagagamit yung profession ng accounting o ng mga CPAs in manipulating financial data, which led to the wrong utilization by management, no, and namamali tuloy sila ng decision making. So very critical na yung ating mga data na ipoproduce ay reliable and valid. Meaning pag sinabing reliable, magagamit siya. Tsaka pagka valid, ay totoong yun talaga ang nangyari na data. If you will remember yung ating topic regarding the CPAS, no, na yung merong concept ang accounting, yung qualitative concept ng account, characteristic ng accounting. Dapat siya timely, relevant, valid, something like that, para siya maging useful doon sa management decision. So, all of that is for us to introduce na pag tayo ay nasa industry na at naging cost accountant na tayo, hindi tayo natitigil doon sa pagiging just cost accountant na may higher level. Kasi iba itatanong, ano ba yung like yung financial management, yung kanilang higher level ng position na yung mga finance director, vice president for finance. So sa accounting, meron din dalawang position in the organization ang nai-present sa atin, yung controllership tsaka yung treasurership. Yung controllership, ito yung highest accounting position. Ito yung, pag sinabi natin controller is, hindi ka lang nagre-record but you use the data para, di ba sabi nga natin, ang accountant sila yung break pagka i-compare natin sa sasakyan. Sila yung nag-stop pagka sinabi natin, oy, sumusobra na tayo sa budget, lumalaki na yung gastos natin. So that is controllership. On the other hand, the treasurership takes care of the cash management of the business and the investment, short-term or long-term of the business. So pinaghiwalay yung function na yan. So tayo, ang exposure pa lang natin is more on the controllership. So we record transactions, we prepare financial statements, and then we utilize the report presented in the financial statement para magkaroon tayo ng data, no, na magiging basis ng top management. Kung hindi pa tayo aware na hindi naman lahat ng nasa top management are very much akin or aware doon sa paano nire-record at paggawa ng financial statement. Pangkaraniwan yan, iniiwan yan sa ating mga accountant. Tayo ang may alam yan. So pati dun sa interpretation, although kaya nila mag-interpret using the financial statement, the balance sheet and income statement, pero tayo ang mas may technical know-how on how to interpret them and use them in the management of the business. Merong isang company before na during the financial crisis na hindi malaki yung benta nila, it's a automotive a car manufacturing company. Alam mo kung paano sila nakaka-survive? Magaling yung kanilang finance head, no? Yung kanilang controller in managing the finances of the business. Kaya kahit mababa yung pumapasok na pera nila through sales, na ma-manage nila yung business nila by cutting down expenses. Yan yung reason kung bakit meron tayong downsizing. Are you familiar with downsizing? Yung pagka nagbabawas ng mga ng manpower, tapos yung pagme-mechanize, yung instead na manual labor, pinapalitan nila ng robotics or computerized system para bawas na yung manpower. This is part of the controllership, no? At yan ay ginagawa nila using information provided by the controller or by the cost accountant or by the accountant. Like for example, pag tayo ba ay nagbebenta halimbawa ng isang produkto, sabihin natin ng mga goods, no? Binibili natin yon. Kung tayo ba ay magma-manufacture instead na binibili natin, mas kikita ba tayo ng mas malaki? These are the decision areas na kung saan tayong mga accountant, tayo ang mga highly technical, nakakaintindi ng mga technical things na yan, ang makakapag-provide ng decision. Kasi pagka hindi ka masyadong familiar, ang immediate response mo pagka nalulugi ang negosyo mo, isara ang negosyo. Pero tayo, nakikita natin na kahit bumababa ang kita ng negosyo, ang nalulugi, pwedeng hindi isara. Kasi mas makikinabang tayo kung tuloy-tuloy ang pag-ooperate niya kahit naglulos tayo kaysa totally isara siya. These are technical terms, no? These are ideas na tayo lang nakakaintindi na pwede nating i-provide na information or input sa management para magabayan sila in making decision for the future of the business. So yun yung malaking papel natin. But however, pag nandun ka na as accountant, mayroong mga management na they try to manipulate, no? Lalo na para pagandahin yung financial record, financial report, no? Tayo ay binibigyan ng gabay ng Code of Conduct and Ethics, no? Yung Code of Conduct and Ethics, meron niyang naka-outline ng mga penalty. But this Code of Conduct and Ethics were not designed para parusahan yung mga nagkakasala, lalo na't mga accountant. Ito ay binigyan ng design, dinesign ito para gabayan tayo na to determine what action are contrary to the exercise or to the practice of our profession. Kaya as early as now, alam na natin kung paano pagre-record, pagpo-produce ng report. Alam na natin na itong mga report na ipoproduce natin makakatulong sa management to make in the decision making. So yung transition from preparation to decision making, dapat tayo ay may hands tayo doon sa pag-control na dapat na ibinibigay nating output o data ay product talaga ng appropriate transaction, hindi sa na-manipulate. So yun yung inintroduce natin dito sa strategic cost management. No? We are on the level of management already, understanding and appreciating and deeper analysis of our function, of our specialization to help the management para maging itong mga data na to ay para maging useful in making decision. By the way, yung assignment nyo ng first chapter 1 and chapter 2, I'll give you up until next week to use that. You may use yung ating oras, no, kasi I'll be attending an annual planning workshop sa Lopez Center in Antipolo, no? Naka-house in kami doon for 3 days from Tuesday to Thursday, so hindi tayo makakapag-meet. You utilize yung ating oras para sagutan itong mga pinapa-assignment ko sa inyo. I-open ko yung task siguro up until sa Saturday, pero nabigay ko na yung guide. Yung mga reporting group, i-upload nyo yung inyong report sa ating Google Classroom. So any question regarding this? Any clarification? Saka na lang pag kayo nakahabol-habol na tayo sa lesson, tsaka ako magtatawag ng mga sasagot, no? Baka nasiyahan kayo, hindi ako nagtatawag ngayon. Medyo we are pressed by time today. Pressed na yung ating masyadong limited na at malapit na tayo mag-end ng ating oras. Kaya I'll just summarize the report of Group 1 and Group 2 unless you would like to ask something or you would like to clarify some topic or issues na ini-report sa inyo ng Group 1 and Group 2. So kung wala na, may I request everyone to please open your camera so that we can grab a screenshot. Yan, buhay pa ba kayo? Okay. Sige. Yan. Si Senyedo nandyan. Ano na ba ito? Second grade.
Ay, sir, nandito po. Mabagal lang po yung camera.
Hindi kayo nag-attend ng may valuable selection tayo? O mas priority niyo ang pag-aaral?
Pag-aaral po.
Wow, ang pa-plastic. O sige, smile na tayo sa camera. Diba? Yan ang gusto ko mga